hear me? Okay. Okay, so you're all in listen-only mode. This is Ron Freeman. I have about 7 o'clock. We're going to start in a minute or so. This is a long-distance running pre-competition webinar. And we'll give it another minute or so for attendees. I see someone else just stopped in. Yeah. Currently, we have David Lang, Hanley, Allen, and John Follett. Okay, so we don't take too much of everybody's time. We're going to start now. Like I said, this is Ron Freeman. I'm the venue director for long distance running. This will be my first time as venue director for long distance running, but for many years I've been venue director for athletics. Also showing on the screen we have Hanley Allen, who's the Mount St. Mary's student sport lead, who will be leading the effort along with me for a successful long distance running competition on the 21st. Here's the agenda. First few screens are the general event slides that Steve Bennett from Special Olympics Maryland will go over. These will be the same slides that are in all pre-competition webinars. So I'm going to hand it over to Steve, who just walked out of the room. I didn't realize that.
All right, hello everyone. As Ron said, my name is Steve Bennett here at Special Olympics Maryland. I just want to go over some basics overview of the Fall Sports Fest. So basically we'll have delegation registration, which is basically for head coaches to come and pick up the registration materials in the control center. That'll be in the upper level of the Knott Arena in the Horning Hospitality Suite, which is by the main front door as you're coming to that side of campus. Same place it has been in the past few years. So again, that's for head coaches for long distance running only. Then all other delegation members should be down in the arena for the opening ceremony around 8:30 to be seated. The opening ceremony will then begin around 9 o'clock, go through 9:45, and then again the competition. Once we have a brief coaches meeting with Ron and the long distance running crew, we'll get started with the long distance running competition out by the pavilion, which Ron will show you a location on the map here in a little while. We do have family hospitality area, which is on the same level as the control center, upper level of the arena. That is for family members of the participants only, not for athletes or partners. Again, that's just for family members. We do have something new this year, which is the Young Athletes Program. First time we'll have that offered at the Fall Sports Fest. That will be in the lower level of the arena, right across the hallway from where opening ceremonies will take place. That is an open house for athletes between the ages of 2 and 7 to come, have fun, be introduced to Special Olympics, have fun with their peers, just fun activities. Basically focusing on some gross motor skills to prepare the athletes for later in life joining Special Olympics and different sports. And of course, after the competition, we will have awards for all participants at each of the competition venues. Like I said, at the registration, when the head coach for your county comes to the control center, we'll have a packet for each county, so the head coach will have the one packet. We'll give that to you. At that time, we also, if there's any scratches that you're aware of, go ahead and turn those in, and we can make records of that and inform those who need to be informed of any scratches. For lunches, everyone has, or the area and county directors were forwarded the lunch order meal form for each sport for each county. It looks like we have received all of those, so those will be delivered to the pavilion area out on the field, which again we'll show you in a map a little bit later on the slides, somewhere between 11 and 12:30. We do anticipate long distance running being the first to be delivered lunches, as your competition will be ending the first competition ending from the day we're guessing at this time. So if they're not there right at 11 o'clock, please don't hound the management people. We will make sure that all the lunches get delivered around 11:30 at the latest for long distance running. Those lunches will be delivered in one box that will be indicated with the area or county program's name on the box. The head coach can pick that up and then distribute the lunches to the coaches and the athletes and or partners. The event guide was sent out to the area and county directors over the last day or two, and if it hasn't already been sent to you guys as the coaches for long distance running, when Ron sends out the slides from this PowerPoint presentation as well as the link to the recording, he will also include the event guide with that email distribution. The opening ceremony. Typically, at the Fall Sports Fest, we do not have the entire delegations parade in, but what we do have is 2 individuals who are participants from each county designated to carry in the banner for that county. So with that being said, I'm not asking you as long distance coaches to give us names, but if you can work with your county director and let them know if you have anyone who you would like to be considered to carry the banner in for that county, let them know, and then they will inform us of the 2 individuals, whether it's from the same sport or different sports, for that county to be the designated banner carriers. If they're individuals from long distance running who are selected for that process, they must be present when we begin that process, and those names need to be to us as soon as possible, but absolutely no later than 8:30. If there is a situation where it becomes where the submissions occur after 8:30, unfortunately we won't have time to make sure they're in the script, have the athlete MCs go through, make sure they know the pronunciations, and then etc. So although the county and the banner carriers would not be recognized in the parade, the county will be mentioned in the script. So again, any delegation who does not report with the banner carriers by 8:30 won't be included in the parade. So I just want to make sure that holds true and is a point of emphasis for this evening. But again, just work with your county director for the 2 names. I don't want every sport to submit 2 names because then we've got too many banner carriers. So again, just work with your other coaches and your county director to submit those names. Here's just the basic overview and layout of campus. If you look down at the far right, the John Dillon Fieldhouse, again, that's where the young athletes program will be occurring. And then we talked about the long distance running courses. If you look kind of right above the square there with the John Dillon Fieldhouse, in the pavilion where you guys, if I'm not mistaken, had lunch and award ceremonies last year, that's where we want everyone to report. And that's where the start of the races and the staging will all occur in that area. Once you're done with your events, you report back there to get your lunches and awards. Basically, the other thing I'd like to point out for you guys, when you pick up your delegation packets, to the far left of the screen, you will see the control center or delegation check-in. Again, that's pointing right to the location where it is. If you come off the little oval shape of the driveway coming in, you can walk straight in that room, or straight in from that level, straight into the room. It'll be on your left-hand side. And again, for all parking down the far left of the layout, that's where we would direct everyone for their parking. The family hospitality area is, again, right by the control center, just right down the hall from there on your right-hand side or your left-hand side, depending which way you come in. Again, just a few little highlights there. The hospitality area we talked about for families. Again, just be respectful of the families. This is a place for them to have quiet time, to talk amongst themselves about any challenges, issues, or educational materials for Special Olympics. and other opportunities that we can provide to the family members and support. So again, that's just for families. Keep the athletes with their peers and their coaches throughout the day. And also, you will see an evaluation survey that's in the event guide. Please take the time to fill that out and ask your parents, family members, any other coaches, athletes, partners to fill that out. And we also want to hear feedback of anything that you liked or anything that you think we can improve upon. Again, that's very helpful for us as we move forward and continue to improve. So again, your feedback is very much valued, and we want you to have an opportunity to provide us ways we can improve or keep things the same if there's things you like, which hopefully there are some of those.
Okay, thanks, Steve. This is sort of new for us this year. I'm not going to read this whole slide. This is Athlete Input Council that the communications folks and media folks with Jason Schrummel and Kira Northrop are putting together to get some input directly from the athletes on obviously you can see the kinds of questions that they'll be asking. There'll be plenty of signage identifying exactly where this is. I believe this is sort of in the area near the tennis courts or in that area between the building and the tennis courts. So encourage your athletes to come out and share their opinions about the event and Special Olympics in general. This is also a new slide. I'm just putting a couple of references in here for the codes of conduct. Obviously, we've had athletes' code of conduct and coaches' code of conduct. We also have a volunteer and a family code of conduct. What I will be doing tomorrow when I send out a copy of these slides is also include a copy of the codes of conduct for all of those aforementioned for the athletes, volunteers, spectators, and family members. We will also have those available at the control center for long distance running, just as a reference. It's some things that we should always be aware of, why we're out there and who we're doing this for, and the kind of conduct that we should all be exhibiting in all of our aspects, not just with Special Olympics, but just as we lead our lives. Okay, our schedule, this is the exact same schedule as we've used in the past. We're going to open the course up for inspection, encourage your athletes to walk the course. We'll show you the course layouts in a slide or two. We'll have a coaches meeting right after opening ceremonies, or approximately 10 o'clock, and we'll start the races in those orders that are listed here. Everything, and you'll see on the slide, is being staged right near the start and finish area. So just make sure you keep your athletes around, ready to race. As Steve said, we'll do the lunch, we'll do the awards presentations, all in the pavilion. This is the number of entries that we have as of this morning. I pulled this straight from GMS. A couple of the events, the numbers are up. A couple of the events, the numbers are down. We're missing one, not missing, but one delegation, Baltimore City, who has competed in the last few years, does not have any entries for long distance running this year, which is the chief reason why our numbers are down just a little bit overall. Okay, course layout. We have altered the course. What has not changed at all is the 5K. If you ignore my drawings and my inability to draw nice, pretty curvy lines, the 5K course is exactly the same. The only difference is the start and the finish, instead of being down by the corner of the track, is over here where it's identified for start and finish right here. and that's where the pavilion is. The 3K and the 1K are basically the same course. In the past, we've started the 1K and 3K here, sort of come out this distance and do this same loop around the lake, and come back here, loop around if it's the 3K, and do it again. This year, most of the 3K and 1K is the same, but obviously we changed a little bit because we're starting over here. So that should not be a tremendous issue for your athletes. What has changed significantly is the 800 and the 800 unified. It's basically a circular loop outlined like this. And the reason we changed, there's several reasons why we changed the start and finish. Number one, to make it closer to the main pavilion or the main building for Mount St. Mary's. And number two, to have everything under starting around the pavilion where we can take advantage of the electrical outlets and the covering if we need some shelter from the wind or the rain or anything. What we will do, and I don't have a slide for this, is probably within the pavilion to make sure we have not given up too much of the space for when we do awards. We'll probably rope off a little bit of that area so we have space to do awards. So just be cognizant as you set up your athletes when you arrive that some of the area will be set aside for the awards later on. Okay, the courses were basically on the same kind of terrain that we've been on in the past. Primarily a mix of grass and gravel. There'll be a couple places near for the 5K near the corner of the track where we're coming off the one area and coming up back towards the grassy area where we'll have to go over some crushed stone and a little bit of road. But we will be marking the course with traffic cones. Emily and I will be marking the course on Friday with painted arrows on the course. We will have plenty of signage. The day of the race, we'll have marshals throughout the course, so we don't have athletes going off, and so we don't have athletes going to areas that are unsafe. We will try to mark with X's and hide with traffic cones any areas that we deem even slightly unsafe. The races will all start with a mass start like we've done in the past. So all the 800s, whether it's 800 by themselves or the 800 unified, they'll start together. Same with the 1500 and the 1500 unified. So every race distance will start with a mass start. Your athletes are not divisioned that way, but so that'll cut down on the time of how long it takes to get through all the events. We will try to start the race immediately following the conclusion of the previous race. If we have the ability to move a little bit ahead, we will do that. So make sure your athletes stay in the pavilion area so you're ready to go when the races begin. Rule reminders, like I just said, the competitions will be using a mass start for each distance, and all races will be started using a 2-command start. Racers ready, followed by the firing of the gun. The rules for unified races, they are to run, your athlete and partner are to run as a pair. They do need to finish within 5 seconds of each other, and the result will be the combined time of both the athlete and the partner. That's the way it's in GMS, and that's the way it will be scored for awards. Your athlete and partner may touch and hold hands. However, any advantage by pulling, carrying, or any action that's deemed unsafe will result in a DQ. Attire. Athletic shorts or athletic pants must be worn. No khakis, no denims, no cutoffs. During the competition, this is for the safety of the athletes. No medals, ribbons, name badges, headphones, or jewelry. The exceptions are listed there: stud earrings, medical bracelets, and if your athlete likes to run with a watch to keep track of the time, of their time or their splits, that's certainly acceptable. This is true for all Special Olympics events. Athletes may not wear clothing with advertising on it during the competition or awards. Shoes, it's not mandatory your athlete wear shoes. I would certainly advise it, but if they do wear shoes, they must be athletic shoes appropriate for athletic competition. No work boots, no open-toed, no sandals. If your athlete does not have athletic shoes and he or she is permitted to run barefoot. Okay, at the pavilion, we'll have a clerk of course. Please have your athletes and the coaches check in with the clerk. All the staging will be in the general area of the start line. We'll have a little bit of signage. Maybe we'll bring a pop-up tent or two so you can see exactly where to stage, but everything is centrally located at the pavilion. Please have your athlete wear their bib in the front of the uniform. It's much easier for our timers to be able to track your athlete, get the appropriate time for any lap, and for any course or distance that has multiple laps. It's easier to keep track of an athlete as our marshals and our timers see someone coming by if the bib is on the front of the uniform. Rain plan. We will run in the rain unless it's a downpour, and certainly we will not be running if there's thunder and lightning. Depending on the severity of any potential storm, moving to the pavilion may be one option. If it's a strong storm, we may ask people to move back up into the main building. But since we are the shortest competition, if there is a small storm and we have to delay a little bit, we will certainly be able to get everything in. Clearly, I did not put a forecast in for Emmitsburg for however many days, 10 days from now. I'm not quite sure how accurate any of the weather sites would be, but there's the zip code for Emmitsburg. As we get closer to the event, please feel free to check. Have your athletes dress appropriately, both for standing around in the staging area and being able to maybe perhaps take off some of those layers for when it's time to race. Some miscellaneous items. We'll have protest forms at the control center. Similarly, or exactly as it is for track and field, and the first bullet doesn't identify that, but the second bullet does. The athlete or the head coach can file a protest. It must be filed within 30 minutes of the posted result. We will rule on that as quickly as we can. And like I say, for athletics and track and field, it's really hard to overrule, as an official, overrule judgment calls by the official. But if there's a rules violation or something that we're doing wrong, please feel free to protest, protect your athlete, and we will rule on those as promptly as we can. We will be posting the results close to the starting area following the completion of the race, and we'll have those sent out to you by Tuesday of the 3 days after the competition. We will have one water station close to the start and finish for your athletes for when they finish their race, and also if it's a multi-loop event, we'll have that for the first time around. If any of your athletes have special needs, I'm not quite sure what those might be, but if you do, please send me an email. My email address is there, rfreeman@somb.org. These are all the folks here in the office, our regional directors, with the names and email addresses and the areas that they're responsible for. If you have a specific question about long distance running, just send it to me. If it's something specific to your area and has less to do with a long distance running event, the names and email addresses are there for you. And that is the official end of the competition webinar. And I will look over to Kristen to see if we have any questions that are posted. If you do, please raise your virtual hand. We'll try to address those. We're looking forward to a really good event. Hopefully the weather will hold out like it has been for all of October. And as you compete and your athletes compete, please say thank you to all the Mount St. Mary's volunteers who are coming out and spending so much of their time, not only on the day of the event, but in the planning of this event as well, not only for long distance running, but for all of the competitions for that weekend, for that day. So if we don't have any questions, I want to thank you all for giving up a half an hour. We'll be able to return 35 minutes to you for your dining and dancing pleasure, and we will see you on Saturday the 21st.